blows my mind. We're so hung up on this notion that we have some obligation to help this struggling black man, you know? Cut him some slack until he can overcome these historical injustices. It's crap. This stuff you guys are saying just perpetuates it. All this liberal nonsense, you know? Everyone's turning and looking the other way while our country rots from the inside out. And Christ, Lincoln freed the slaves, what, like 130 years ago? How long does it take to get your act together?
If you're nodding in acceptance, feeling some sort of empowerment, or even just the slightest bit of passion while listening to that, then you might have a problem. Depending on your personal ideologies, of course. I mean, if you strongly believe that being a racist is fine, then according to that, I guess you don't have a problem. Now, if you're one of those people that's ready to type something along the lines of, wow, never knew you were such a fucking cuck, or just typing out a long ass paragraph about how I'm objectively wrong, just calm the fuck down for a few minutes, and try to hear me out. The point of this video is to hopefully enlighten people, perhaps even start a dialogue which is rational from both perspectives. Although, let's be real, that's pretty much impossible when it comes to this type of conversation. I'm honestly just hoping people don't find this video redundant. I was never a fan of political based discussions, but when it comes to films like this, there isn't really a way around it. You almost know by now that audiovisual media is my favorite form of art. I feel very passionate about films in general, especially when they tackle taboo subjects or implement socio-political commentary in a clever way, which is why I personally felt it was necessary for me to make this video. Anyway, let's begin. When I first watched American History X a couple of years ago, it definitely had quite a powerful effect on me. I specifically remember that the whole transformation of the main character felt very human, despite following a few cliches. I enjoyed the way it was presented, and I certainly enjoyed the way in which the message was conveyed. So, given the context of today and generally being more informed about the current events, not just in America, but in the whole world, I felt compelled to rewatch this film. Not just to see how well it holds up in a technical and critical sense, but to see if the message remained relevant and, more importantly, effective. And for me, it certainly did. Not just for the visual poetry and powerful performances, but mainly for the dialogue, which for me actually feels more relevant than ever. I've had quite a few discussions with people who are clearly racist, and I've noticed a pattern that repeats itself. They pretty much always rely on mentioning statistics.
Look at the statistics, for Christ's sakes. It's 1 in every 3 black males is in some phase of the correctional system. Is that a coincidence, or do these people have, you know, like a racial commitment to crime?
Not only that, they're proud of it.
Well, maybe it says something about prejudice in the judicial system.
Yeah, if you want to talk about criminal statistics, you might want to take a look at the social inequalities that produce them.
Think about it. What is the actual point of bringing that up? I'm not even arguing against the credibility of the statistics. I just don't understand the relevance. If I have a very negative experience with someone that happens to be black, I don't think to myself, oh, I hate that black cunt, fuck him and all the black people because they're clearly all the same. Statistics prove that. No. I just think to myself, I hate that cunt. Fuck him. You know? To me, it's basically a cheap propaganda tactic. It's an easy way to generalize and just throw everyone into the same category because this source said so. On top of that, it's just simply childish. Relying on statistics to make a point about a whole race of people is equivalent to judging a film before you've even seen it based on its metascore. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Anyway, that's why the dialogue in this film is so compelling. It structures these conversations and speeches in a clever way because they showcase the characters' clear lack of understanding, even though they may seem like they really do know what they're talking about. I always thought that racism usually originates from either a lack of experience or understanding, or both. The whole journey and transformation of Edward Norton's character in this film expresses that so damn well. He starts to realize that all the hate and anger he manifested was virtually pointless. Everything he strongly believed in and fought for was just bullshit.
It's wrong, and it was eating me up. It was gonna kill me. And I kept asking myself all the time, how did I buy into this shit, you know? And it's just because I was pissed off. Nothing I ever did ever took that feeling away.
The film obviously carries a very powerful message. Hate breeds hate, which is just so true. Worst of all, it's usually blind hate that overtakes the mind of a racist person. So all the rage and frustration ultimately has no real meaning or purpose. It just comes down to confusion, a lack of understanding, or simply getting caught up in the false sense of morality because it just feels so empowering. This Is England is another great film that explores racism, and it feels very relevant given the current situation in the UK. The film takes place in the early 80s, and it takes us on a journey from the perspective of a young boy, showing how a toxic combination of nationalism, overwhelming pride and bitter jealousy can lead to having a racist state of mind. It doesn't solely focus on exploiting racism though. Despite its mostly gritty style, the film does exude a lot of joy in its first and second acts, by showcasing some genuine happiness being created by simply being a part of something, a part of a group that just accepts each other and can have fun together. I know it's not the most conventional looking group of friends, but that's not the point. They're happy, and it's nice to look at. Until someone divides the group by forcing their controversial political views upon everyone. Forcing people to take sides pretty much from the very beginning, because the atmosphere that's created by blatant racism is beyond awkward. I've personally experienced very similar occurrences multiple times, making the unpleasant tone of the scene hit home even harder. All of this just signifies the toxic nature of racism, how it can spread hate amongst others and destroy meaningful friendships or relationships like this.
And I'm thinking, right, just eat me pudding, I'm just gonna eat me pudding, just gonna eat me pudding, and I'm there and I've just finished the last fucking mouthful, and then all of a sudden, this big, black, sweaty hand's just gone wallop right in me pudding. Do you know what I mean? Proper big cigar fingers and all that all over me fucking crumbling custard, man. And I just thought, nah, I'm not having it. I don't care. You're not getting my pudding, that's it.
The film also shows how easy it is to manipulate people. Not just children, but anyone. Bringing up traumatic events or anything related to family can completely change someone's outlook on life, making them, again, develop a false sense of morality, and thus blindly following hateful beliefs which, deep down, they might not really truly believe.
And if you don't stand up and fight this fucking fight that's going on the streets, man, your dad died for nothing. He died for nothing. You've got to carry it on, man, in here. Your little fucking heart, you've got the pride of your dad, man.
I know that the majority of this video is just me stating the obvious, especially if you're a rational person or if you have liberal views, then you'll most likely feel that way about most of my points. But you know what? There are people who are going to strongly disagree with the things I've said in this video, and there are people who watch these films and the message flies right over their head. Sometimes it's important to make a statement even if it seems obvious. People just need to open their eyes. There are a lot of great films that explore racism. Besides the ones I discussed in this video, some of my favorites include Code Unknown, La Haine, Fruitvale Station, Do the Right Thing, District 9, Untouchable, and even The Grand Budapest Hotel. Not all of these films centrally focus on racism, but when they do tackle the subject, they pull off an amazing job. I strongly urge everyone to sit down, watch or rewatch these films, and just really absorb them. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.